I'm Ashton Addison from EventChain for Investmentpitch Media and FinTech News Network. And today on Blockchain Interviews, we have Joel Comm and Travis Wright from the Bad Crypto Podcast. Joel and Travis, welcome back to the show once again. It's a pleasure to see you guys.
Thanks for having us, Ashton. You're looking sharp there. I'm all dressed up today. I've got my Forget the Rules t-shirt. You got your suit and tie, so looking spiffy, my friend.
Hey, thank you very much.
I put on my nicest hat possible for this because it's on Reuters.
Awesome. Love it, man. Yeah, great to see you guys. Hope you're doing well. If we could start with a little bit of the background on the Bad Crypto Podcast. I got involved with the podcast way back in 2017, and it's grown so popular, but there's still a huge audience of the blockchain audience that's growing. And if you could give a little bit of background on that before we dive deep, that would be great.
Yeah, we've been doing the show almost 3 years. It'll be 3 years, July 18th, and had about 9 million downloads and heard in 180 or so countries around the world. We've done over 500 recordings and had the opportunity to travel all over the world and to interview many of the leaders in the blockchain and cryptocurrency space. And we're having a blast. And along the way, we're testing out this technology for ourselves. And not just talking about it on the show, but as Travis likes to say, we're dog fooding it.
No, you got to eat your own dog food. And along the way, we've not only done a popular podcast, as Joel mentioned, with all these episodes and traveled all over, but, we've also had worked on building a community-driven blockchain called Badcoin. That's a 5 algorithm blockchain. It's actually probably one of the more innovative blockchains out there. Based on what it can do, because depending on how weak or strong your computer is, that determines your difficulty, and you're actually fighting amongst these 5 different algorithms to win the block every minute. So we actually created the most fair blockchain. That was one of the things we did. Then we also did virtual blockchain week, where we decided to do a conference, and then 30 days later we launched it and had most of the top folks in the whole crypto space being part of it. And then, you know what? Now we decided, hey, let's go into this non-fungible token space and create some digital collectibles and see if this helps move the mass adoption needle forward at all.
Yeah, very cool. And I really did appreciate the virtual blockchain week. Your team did a great job with that. And I think it was much needed during the lockdown to bring all of the communities together and to get more people interested in this great technology. And now you're working on Blockchain Heroes. This is a really cool project that you guys have going. And I want to really dive deep into Blockchain Heroes today because it's something super unique. And I think that this is going to get a lot of interest from people that haven't really heard of this technology, but they see these different kinds of use cases. So if you could explain, what exactly is Blockchain Heroes? What are the goals that you're trying to set out? And how did you get interested in this?
Yeah, so Blockchain Heroes is a set of 50 digital collectible trading cards inspired by real-world blockchain and cryptocurrency personalities. So their parody cards, their tongue-in-cheek, what if the leaders of the space were superheroes? I mean, they kind of are in their own right, but what if they had superpowers in their fight against the evil centralizers? And Travis and I have been developing NFTs since the beginning of 2020. We started something called Proof of Listening for our podcast audience, where if we had Ron Paul on the show, we could generate a special non-fungible token that we would drop to people's wallets if they listened to the show and filled out a form within 72 hours of that NFT going live. And we came up with the idea for doing something called Blockchain Buddies in, I want to say, February of this year, maybe early March. And then COVID hit and the lockdowns hit. And that's when we mobilized to put on the first blockchain virtual event that, really for the year that came out of the whole lockdown. And after that was over, we revisited the whole non-fungible token issuance once we saw what Topps and Wax did with the Garbage Pail Kids brand. They put out a set of collectible trading cards on the Wax blockchain. They sold out in 28 hours, and we finally saw a mechanism for selling and delivering and making available for trading and buying and selling these cards. And so we went to Wax Labs that has a massive fund of 100 million Wax, basically a war chest put aside for projects that they vote in to fund. And we submitted a proposal. We won the proposal. And Wax Labs is basically funding this project, which is going to launch on August 4th with a presale on August 1st.
Yeah, and one of the fun things about this was that, and it was late in February when we were talking about this, and then Joel's like, blockchain buddies, maybe what we'll do is we'll create these collectibles and we'll just maybe sell them on OpenSea. We'll just create 10 of each one and sell them on OpenSea. And I was like, what, kind of like Garbage Pail Kids kind of cards? And he was like, yeah, kind of like that, I guess. And then 5 days later, Topps and Wax announced their partnership of putting Garbage Pail Kids on the blockchain. So we were thinking about it while I guess the ball was already rolling with Topps and Wax of starting to do that. And that mechanism that they created in the pack opening and where the catalog is there and the secondary markets and how they built that whole system, it was the perfect delivery mechanism for what we were working on.
Very, very cool. Yeah, this is a super cool project. And introducing this non-fungible tokens to the outside community, I think, is very important. And it can get a little bit confusing for people who are just getting involved with cryptocurrency. They see coins and they see tokens and they're like, well, what's the difference between a coin and a token? And now there's a non-fungible token versus fungible token. In your words, can you explain a little bit to a newbie what exactly is a non-fungible token and how does that provide extra value?
Yeah, Trav, why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Certainly. So, like if you get a dollar bill and I exchange it for another dollar bill, those dollar bills are completely fungible. That's what that means. They're exchangeable for another one that's exactly the same of it. But if I'm exchanging a ticket for my ticket that's in the back row for your ticket that's in the front row, those are not the same. Those are non-fungible. They're different, but they have value, but they're not the exact same. Like I can trade an Ethereum for an Ethereum crypto, a Bitcoin for a Bitcoin. I can exchange a dollar for a dollar, but I can't change this crypto kitty for this crypto kitty unless we decide that they're the same value, right? We're going to trade them. So, there can be all kinds of things. There can be coupons that can be a non-fungible token. There can be business cards, invitations, all kinds of deal offers that can happen on NFTs. And what really got us going was these digital collectibles. Like how cool is it when we start seeing companies like Topps, not only companies like Topps, but, Marvel, the head of Marvel Games has joined the board on Wax. That's like oh wow, Marvel is going to maybe do some stuff with Wax. That's interesting. And then today they announced that Capcom, that owns a lot of different video game properties, including Street Fighter, they're going to put Street Fighter on Wax blockchain, doing some Street Fighter game type of stuff. So it's just really cool to see how like these items that are within games can be an NFT that you could trade. Maybe I don't necessarily need this armor anymore in this game, so I can go on a secondary market and I can sell it to somebody else who does want it, and they can put it on their game and they can use it. So non-fungible tokens are really these tokens that have value, but there's not a duplicate exact one that's the same as that one, and they all have different values.
Okay, very interesting. And what that makes me think of a little bit with the old time investors and collectors, they used to collect, baseball cards or even like Magic the Gathering cards. It's sort of like the digital version of that, but I guess with the blockchain integrated into it, there's more authenticity, and I guess you can you can prove the authenticity and the originality of the cards.
Yes, it's very much like that, right? Each one is pegged directly to an account, so you have proof of ownership of that particular card. The other thing that you can do that you can't do with a traditional baseball card, that baseball card doesn't animate. It doesn't move when you're holding it in your hand. It is just a static picture, but with non-fungible tokens, you can do some pretty cool stuff. Basically, they're like mini movies that you can create that you're holding in your wallet. In fact, if you'd like, I can share my screen and show you some of the cards that we.
While he's getting ready to share his screen, let me add to that. What I think is really cool, not only can you animate them, but imagine back in the day, they would sell a pack of cards and there's a Mickey Mantle rookie in that card, in that pack. That Mickey Mantle rookie now is like selling for $30,000 to $50,000, and Topps is making zero. When you have a non-fungible token and smart contracts, what happens is when this card gets sold on a secondary market, Topps is getting 8% of those secondary market sales are getting kicked back to the creators of that. 2% or so is going to the head of whoever owns that secondary market. 90% goes to the person who owned that card originally, who is transferring it to the other person. So it creates this new secondary revenue stream that never existed before in digital collectibles.
Very cool.
Or physical collectibles, yeah, for that matter.
Yeah, so I'll just use my my Windows desktop here to just kind of give you a preview of some of the cards. Now, we've actually have a gallery that we are releasing on our Instagram. BC Heroes is the Instagram account. And you can see the entire gallery of heroes. We've got 50 in all. So, you know, this one here, we don't talk about who the various heroes are inspired by, except for this guy right here, because his name here is Genesis, but obviously it is a nod to Satoshi Nakamoto, the one who wrote the Bitcoin white paper. And you
look at that beautiful art. The art on these are, we're not tooting our own horns because we didn't design them. We actually went to Upwork and we interviewed 60 plus different, you know, illustrators. We auditioned 30 plus of them and then picked out 10 and then hired 5. And then each five created 10 different cards that are based in their class. And there's 5 different classes. There's the defenders, the champions, the creators, the boosters, and the celestials. And each artist created all the characters in that particular class.
Yeah, so each one you're looking at has a story, and on the back of the cards, you'll learn what their story is and, you know, what stats they have related. Now, it's not a game, so even though they have stats, it's not like, oh, this one has this much hit point, and this one has that much health, and this one has that much shield. They're just different stats that bring flavor to the cards and make them more interesting.
Yeah, they're very flavorful. They taste delicious. You just lick your screen. It's that new iPhone technology, that lickology technology they've created. Just lick your screen.
And one of the fun things you could do while Travis is being completely ridiculous is with, you know, trading cards, there's various levels of rarities, right? So some cards are easy to get, and as the rarities increase, then there's fewer cards that are available of that rarity. So, you know, what you just saw was a common card. We have an uncommon card, which has a comic book style. We have the rare card, which is even harder to find in your card packs. And you can see it's got this Da Vinci type of style to it. And
there's going to be like, what, 200 or so of these, each character in the pack, something like that?
I don't have the numbers handy, but you might be right. But there will be fewer of those than the other cards. And it really starts to get interesting. And what I can show you is what we revealed in our community meeting last night is the epic variation of the cards. And this is where we start to bring animation into it. So this is what we call our epic sketch card. So again, you can see it's the Genesis character, but now you're holding something in your wallet which has motion to it. It's more interesting to look at. And we can't show you the legendary, the mythic, or the Golden Fury cards yet because they haven't been revealed to the public. But this kind of gives you an idea of what we're working on and where it's going. And you asked in the beginning what our goals were for this. And really, it's twofold. It's to create the most badass set of collectible digital trading cards that have been made for blockchain yet, and to create a community that, you know, is well served, that really enjoys buying, selling, trading these cards.
Yeah, this is very cool. And I'm curious a little bit more about the marketplace and the buying and selling, and, you know, the ability for traders to potentially profit from the marketplace. And can you talk, I know you partner with the Wax blockchain. Can you talk about how the marketplace would work, and, you know, when that would be available and how people can trade cards easily?
Sure. Yeah, so what Tops and Garbage Pail Kids with Wax, what they did was they had a couple of secondary markets reach out to them and said, "Hey, we'd love to sell them," and they created some partnerships ahead of the launch. Now, what we've done is we partnered with Wax, and those same, you know, partners have reached out with us. And so what we're doing is we're basically taking what they did with topsgpk.io, and that's going to be at bcheroes.com. And basically you're going to have the place where you can shop and buy them. You're going to have the place where you have your inventory, where you can see your particular cards. You're going to be able to see the catalog of all of the cards that have been revealed up until that point. And then you're also going to have a place where you can trade with other community members. And then if you want, since it's connected to the Wax blockchain, you can connect to the collectibles.io site or the hero.market site with your Wax wallet, and you're going to be able to upload those and then pick a price you want to sell them for. And then if somebody wants to buy that card, they're going to be able to buy that card from you. And then whenever that card is bought, percentage of that comes back to us, since we're the creators. A percentage of that's going to go to collectibles, and then the rest will go to the person who owned that card before.
Very cool. And you mentioned, Joel, that the release is on August 4th. Is that right?
Yes.
And so how can the viewers follow along for the reveals up to that point? And is there some kind of call to action that they need to take to start trading when these become available?
There's a few things that are happening that are really cool. First of all, we have a mailing list that you want to get on. Go to bcheroes.com and subscribe to that. We'll send you 1 or 2 updates a week. And one of the things we're doing is really growing our Telegram. We've already got about 500 people in there. If you go to t.me/BC Heroes, you can join there. We're giving away a pack every day in the month of July. And so we're doing that in different forms on social media. So that's another good reason to get on the mailing list. We're really working on building this community. So every Wednesday night, we do a community meeting called the Hero Report, where we do the latest reveal. We show people the next level up in rarities of cards and share some other surprises, do some giveaways, get community feedback. And we've also got some promotional cards out there. We're working with some partners at Cointelegraph, at CoinGecko, some others to be announced that are creating promotional NFTs that are in and of themselves collectible and one of a kind that are available for a limited time. So if you want some free NFTs right now, this is a great way to get started. Again, just come to bcheroes.com and sign up for that mailing list, and you'll then have access to all of the information. August 4th is the sale date for those that want to buy cards with the US dollar. We are going to do a pre-sale though on August 1st because many people want to purchase the cards, the packs with their Wax cryptocurrency. And so they're going to get first shot at it. And then the fiat sale happens on the 4th.
Very cool. Well, I'm looking forward to that. I'm very much looking forward to that. I will leave the link to your newsletter and the reveal links in the description box below. It's all the time that we have, but all the best on this BC Heroes project. It sounds like it is going to be something that is going to grow huge, and the community seems to already be liking it. I have seen it being posted around social media already. So congratulations on the early traction so far, and all the best moving forward with this project.
Thanks, Ashton. You're our hero. That's
true. We're going to see a couple packs so you can open them up online and see, so you can see how the whole process works whenever this gets going.
I'd love to do it. I'm looking forward to it, and let's follow up after the launch, and yeah, we'll go from there.